I'm keeping the OP-1.
Freebie.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to Freebeat, where I post new music-related content every single day, so if that sounds good to you, hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell. Today's patron shoutout goes to Dream Static. Thank you so very much for the support. Let's get started. So, a little over a month ago, I made a video talking about how I was considering selling the OP-1. I didn't really touch it. Teenage Engineering's crazy price hikes on all of their gear and the price of the new OP-1 field and everything had kind of turned me off of featuring the OP-1 on the channel, and really, if I don't feature it on the channel, I'm not using it too much off camera because I spend so much time in the studio already, and I gave myself a challenge. For the holiday break, for the, last week, or I think it was, of December, Lady Freebeat and I flew to New Mexico to visit some of her family, and I took the OP-1 with me, and I decided to try and make a song, or at least the framework of a song, on that trip, and then come back and see how I felt about it. Because, of course, the OP-1, the biggest advantage of all of its features is that it's portable, and it's got that tape workflow. I really enjoy the tape workflow. I just haven't really had a cause to use it. Or I hadn't anyway until that point a lot after I made my initial first album with it. So I did that. I took it to New Mexico. I used it on the plane. I used it in the airport. I used it just hanging out in the room that we stayed in. And I did come up with the basis of a song. And I actually covered that in a video right when we got back. And I will link that video in the description. And since then, I've actually imported that song into Ableton and started to work on it, at least the arrangement part. And since beginning to work on the actual arrangement and layout of that track, which I will play for you in just a minute, I've had some time to reflect on the OP-1 and the experience of taking it with me on the plane and making music with it. I've come to the conclusion I am keeping the OP-1. Given its form factor, it is simply too powerful for me to ignore, not to mention the tape workflow is unique, nothing else has anything like it, and it's a great way to just record audio rather than recording MIDI data. Of course, you can sequence things, but the tape itself is audio. I've actually talked about that at length here on the channel. So with that out of the way, let me go ahead and play what I have done of this track so far. Everything is arranged how I want it, but there's hardly any effects, there's barely any mixing, and of course there's no mastering or anything like that, and I'm sure I will be adding lots of other little elements, but this is what I have so far of my OP-1 Goes to New Mexico track. I am really liking where this track is headed, and as I began to work on arranging it, I realized that the OP-1 was really the only piece of gear that I would have been able to come up with something like that on the go anyway, being detached from anything. I just sat there with headphones plugged in and battery running, which the battery is low right now, so I'm charging it back up. This is the first time I've plugged it into charge, by the way, since I think like June of last year, I think, which is pretty crazy. But yeah, there's just way too much going on in this little device. It's way too portable, way too usable for me to ignore. I got a great price on mine. I bought it used. Please don't buy one of these new. For the love of everything that is good, please do not pay Teenage Engineering those prices. People are selling these used left and right. You can still get them for about $800 US, which is what I paid for mine. If you will use it, I think it's well worth it at that price. And honestly, that was a big reason for me wanting to keep this thing, was that when I did use it on our trip, I felt really good about using it. It's a joy to work with, in my opinion. I really like it. And I just need to force myself to use it more. I haven't found that many opportunities to get out of the studio, which is where this thing really shines, because you can use it anywhere in the studio. I mean, it's like, why bother using this when I've got Ableton and a full keyboard behind me and all this other gear? But when you are out and about, this device really, really freaking shines. And of course, with my recent introduction of the new show Sample Something here on the channel, that will be linked in the description if you haven't seen that announcement yet. That show having an emphasis on getting out and sampling and using the sounds around you and making music with the sounds around you. It just seemed wrong to get rid of the OP-1, and honestly, working on that show has inspired me to work with the OP-1 out and about more, because this really is an incredible device, and nothing else aside from its successor, the OP-1 Field, has even come close to matching its workflow and what it can do in this form factor. Also, I just want to say really quick, this song is not done, if I didn't make that clear. I still have a ton of work to do on it, and it will be coming out eventually, but I wanted to share my progress with you all in this little update. So, I am keeping the OP-1. I do hope you found this video informative, or at least entertaining. If you did, be sure to leave a like on it. If not, you can always leave a dislike. That's okay too. Doesn't hurt my feelings, just makes me try that much harder next time. Either way, be sure to hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell. New content every single day. Thank you all so very much for being here. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.